I would assume that Oregon takes a small step back this year. I just there's a lot of uncertainty, especially at the quarterback position.
Or they're going to have to count on their defense a little bit more.
Well, but this goes back to whether you're Alabama, whether you're Ohio State. If you're Oregon and you've really elevated yourself to one of those programs, if we're now going to consider Oregon to be a perennial top 6 or 7, 8 program in the country, competing for conference titles, competing for national championships every year, going with an unproven quarterback, it shouldn't be a big deal. Ohio State is going with the kid that we've never seen before. Alabama's going with, now he's been in the program for a number of years, but Ty Simpson's only played in a handful of games. And we don't expect there to be giant growing pains. We expect you to come in, you take over the reins. And so we assume it's going to be Dante Moore, but maybe it's one of the others. Whoever it is, there shouldn't be a giant grace period. Like, you are expected to come in as a young man at a program like Oregon now. And now I'm not expecting you to play Heisman Trophy quarterback, which is what we've seen the last 3 years. And when I say a step back, I think a loss or two, but when the playoffs are your expectation, that should not change because you have a freshman quarterback or you have a first-year starting quarterback, not at a program where it's loaded. You don't rebuild, you
reload.
You reload.
He started at UCLA
for a brief period of time, and it was not
how many. Well, but still, that's. I think that
wasn't great.
But just because it wasn't great doesn't mean it doesn't help them become better. And I think that matters. Like, I'm going to look up how many starts he had there. I thought he started.
I got it right here.
It's also an easier schedule, too. So, like, aside from the whiteout game at Penn State, you don't run through a murderer's row like you did last year where you had to play Ohio State and Michigan and Illinois and all these teams on the road. Wisconsin, no big bye. So I think that's also going to help them, when you don't have to go through a gauntlet like you did last year. That slight step back might not even really be reflected other than like an extra loss.
He's played 9 games.
How many did he start? I thought he was their starter for a while.
I will say of the 9 games, and this is tough because it doesn't say what he started. In the 9 games, one game he threw 12 passes, another one 12, 5, 7. So he played in 9 games, and he played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where he threw more than 12 passes. So
I'm just saying that I just
11
think
touchdowns, 9 picks.
I just think it's good. He is a first year starter at Oregon,
but it's not his first.
But he has started college football games. He has started big games on the road against ranked teams. I mean, I think that is important just for nerves alone. And I think Will's right talking about just supporting him, like the run game. Yeah. The defense, like the Ducks have it all, and that's going to help Dante Moore. He doesn't have to be Bo Nix.
No, I think the last couple of years, you have obviously relied heavily on the most experienced quarterback in college football. And I think with this one, and maybe there's some growing pains and you have to win some closer games. You're not blowing teams out by 40, but you have the best running back in the country in the transfer portal coming in. You have the 2 best tackles that were in the transfer portal. They're both supposed to be first-round picks. You've got an NFL guy anchoring the offensive line at center. You have all these, maybe the most athletic tight end that you've ever had, who's got something to prove. You have all of these 4- and 5-star receiver kids that, again, it's unproven, but you have a lot of depth out there. But I would assume that when you come out that we're running the ball and we're going to rely on that and we're going to ease whatever quarterback we have. I think you'll see a slightly different offense than, especially early on. And then maybe you get to Penn State, you get to the whiteout, and then at that point, maybe the training wheels come off. But those first handful of games, I would expect you to run maybe a little bit more conservative, run heavy.
Yeah.
Don't turn the ball over sort of offense.
This is Lanning's 4th year?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he had 2 with Bo Nix, 1 with Dylan
2 with
Gabriel.
Bo Nix, 1 with Dylan, and this is year 4.
I mean, again, he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So maybe the identity shifts a little bit when you don't have all that experience at quarterback.
Yeah.
They've certainly reloaded on D, and he's a defensive guy. Maybe he's a little bit more conservative with that, and they rely on that more this year.
And maybe Dante Moore comes out and just lights the world on fire, and you're like, holy God, where did this come from? So, you never know.
There is hot college football talk for you bros and you broettes out there.
Yeah, don't forget the broettes.
sports, guys.
People at the sports bra.
It's called sport. Yeah, the sports bra. Love the sports bra.
Still haven't made it out there.
Shocking. Why?
It's called sports.